Hello everyone, welcome to Game 2 in a series between Happy and Bly. Game 2 from the Zotac Cup. It is going to be on Cloud Kingdom. Happy spawning on the bottom left hand side of the map as the yellow Terran. Meanwhile, Bly spawning on the top right hand side of the map as the orange Zerg. Zerg versus Terran once more. Once again, I am on the road, unable to take all of my sound equipment with me. I will be upgrading my sound equipment once I get home as well, so you're going to hopefully notice better sound quality coming from me as I prepare for Heart of the Swarm. If you guys didn't know, Heart of the Swarm beta is coming very, very soon from all of the announcements that I've been reading so far. And I think the MLG version of the game was pretty close to what will be released. Let's talk about the game. Right now. Bly spawning as the orange Zerg here at the 2 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Bly and Happy spawning as the yellow Terran over here in the bottom left. So, talking about Heart of the Swarm, the beta will be coming out soon. I do believe I am in the invite to get the beta early on, and I guess this is a good time to ask. It's probably going to be very difficult to get any high level replays. So do you want me to cast my own games, or what would you guys like to see? That is the key question. Do you guys want me to see me cast my games? I will go over unit analysis, go over all the units, talk about my thoughts, and do some balance changes or balance patches once more. And I really like where Heart of the Swarm is going. Now let me add a caveat to that. A lot of the professional players out there were saying, it sucks, the balance is completely wrong. We're not, Heart of the Swarm, the alpha right now, it isn't about balance. It is about gameplay, mechanics, and is it entertaining to watch. The Abduct from the Viper, very, very entertaining to watch. Tempest, Oracle, Entombed probably not that entertaining, but I do think the Burrow Charge on the Zerg is entertaining as well. Mass Recall at Tier 1 should be very entertaining to watch as well, as it opens up Protoss's options. I do think that Terran doesn't get that many tactical options in Heart of the Swarm, but then again, a lot of people felt that Terran was already a very, very robust race to begin with. I am excited about the Spider Mines. Spider Mines is going to be one of those units where it's going to be hit or miss, where if the professional players are able to split out that one Spider Mine that has splash damage and separate it from the units, it's not going to do very much damage. If the professional player is unable to do that, and that unit does die, and does a massive amount of splash damage, then everyone's going to cry, oh my gosh, that's OP. That is really what I think Heart of the Swarm and StarCraft is in general. When all the races feel like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome, you've got to play this one particular race. Because of this, it is so broken. But then all the races have it. That makes for a rather entertaining game, as opposed to, hey, everything is 100% balanced, everything is just completely even, we have the same exact units, let's play rock, paper, scissors, and, everything's fine. You just really don't want that. Zerglings now making their way in behind the mineral line here, so a rather aggressive play by Bly. But the Zerglings, how much damage can they really do, as the SCVs are beautifully tanking a lot of that damage. Only one SCV, I believe, was taken there, as another Marine does get taken down. Overall losses, 150 versus 156, and worker count, 2 workers versus 0 killed, and I like that play. I think that was a good trade. Bly did get some worker kills, but then Happy got Zergling kills early on that really could have been drones if Bly had wanted to train them up. He's also going to have a little bit less map control, as Happy going to transition into Hellions already. These Hellions going to make a move out across the map, be able to perhaps torch some drones, as Happy is currently behind in terms of overall supply. Queens, one of those tricky units, or tricky things for trying to keep track of supply. Are Queens economy? Are they production? Are they defensive units? They're really all in one. So saying that Bly has or Bly had a supply advantage doesn't really mean much, as we are going into a macro hatch on the front door. Interesting style, making sure that no units are able to run by. Bly really liking this defensive queen play. You can see 3 queens currently sitting just at the natural, and now we are adding an evolution chamber here as well. 4 Hellions not going to be able to do very much at all, as these queens going to be able to just lay down creep tumors in a hurry and protect all of these creep tumors with the help of the queens and start that massive queens or creep spread. Now evolution chambers being placed down here as well. A nice way to place it down, making it so that the Hellions, if they try to make their way in, a lot of the times Terran players will just try to drive around and then come in over here. They may end up getting stuck here, forced to get a U-turn into a lot of Zerglings. Let's take a look at the main base of Happy. Happy going into double engineering base very early before setting up an armory, so Happy going to have 1-1 upgrades in a hurry, and that is just going to scale very well. 4 Hellions still sitting outside the front door. Medevacs being added, level 1 weapons and armor upgrades, stim pack already being researched, and Happy will need to deal damage at around, I believe, the 11-minute mark, as the Hellions, they're going to be torching and starbursting all of these queens. Is it going to be enough? Another queen may get taken down there. All the Zerglings getting torched very quickly, and now this is going to be a little bit dangerous. Is it going to be enough, as the Zerglings are all getting torched, trying to run away? This one very low hit point queen looks like it will be able to, transfusion to save it, and beautifully done, as the Hellions are doing just a little bit of a dance to try and stay alive. The lower hit point Hellions in the back, beautiful transfusions by Bly, and that is why queens are so effective as defensive units. Let's take a look at the overall army count, 1150, and I believe 22 queens. Is that 1150? Yeah, but 22 queens, 11, no, that's only, so the queens are actually counted in the army there. I always thought they weren't. Perhaps if they get a kill off, they are counted as part of the army, as we now see creep tumors being placed down. Alright, Marines, Marauders, Bunkers, Hellions, Stim already researched. This is going to be a strong timing attack. 1-1 upgrades with combat shield, and also setting up another command center. So Happy has a great follow-up to this attack, and this could deal a lot of damage. This expansion over here is not really well prepared. We are going to see a lot of banelings though, as Bly is prepared on the defensive end. Defensive banelings, no siege tanks, and Happy really needs to deal damage here. Is he going to be able to deal a lot of damage? So you can see that the queens are coming out to engage, and with the queens and Hellions, who is going to come out on top? Hellions now looking to come in. Are those banelings going to be able to engage? Are those banelings looking to back off once more, as we now see some transfusions go off once more. Medevac now on the high ground to gain sight. Hellions going to torch some of those queens. Banelings, are they going to be able to hit anything? No, unable to hit anything, as they're getting caught in the backfield. And still, the Hellions are trying to maintain pressure here. Bly, this could go either way, folks. Both sides looking to deal a lot of damage here. The queen's now backing off. The longer this fight goes, the better it is for Bly, as he is the one on the defensive end. And the reinforcements will be coming in. Banelings could be coming in. There's some baneling hits. And now all the units are backing off. The queens unable to really engage, as we are now going into 2-1 upgrades. I believe 2-2 upgrades will be coming momentarily as soon as we hit 200 minerals. Oh, nope. I guess I was wrong about that. More Marines still being added, sitting at 95 over 121. Bly setting up his 4th base as the 3rd base already upgraded to an orbital command. And this is beautifully done, as Happy now getting up some siege tanks. Happy took the risk, didn't attack and didn't engage with siege tech, hoping that Bly wouldn't have banelings. Bly defended with banelings, defended very well. And now we're going to see, beautifully done, as the siege tanks get off a very nice and easy volley. The Zerglings are upgraded at 1-1 though, so unable to get off any kills there, as we now see more Marines engaging. And we are sitting at 3 bases to 4, with creep spread already covering about 1/3 of the map, soon to be a half of the map, as we are getting this 4th base off over here. 115 supply versus 119. Bly now transitioning into Spire Tech. Meanwhile, Happy looking to get more Marines, and I've been very impressed by Happy's production so far. You can see the level 1 weapons upgrade on the siege tanks, and just constant production of Marines from all of these barracks. He is getting up 1 tech lab here. Perhaps we could see Marauders in just a little bit, perhaps to focus down all of these infestors. But I would really like to see some some Blue Flame Hellions. There is a very heavy composition of just Zerglings in this army, and if you can 2-shot any of those units, after just 1 initial wave, you can deal a lot of damage here. Siege tank is up on the high ground. Only 1 siege tank here. Gonna finish off all of these creep tumors. 1 creep tumor left. That siege tank unable to finish it off. Are they gonna try to go after it? Oh no, there's the fungal growth. And all the Marines, there could be another fungal growth there. Nope, some infested Terran. And it looks like the infested Terran was not able to hatch, as the siege tank and Marines able to finish it off. Zerg is now trying to engage against a whole bunch of Marines. It looks like, wow, a very damaged medevac able to navigate, or the pilot was able to just navigate a very damaged medevac, and now looks to perhaps do a bit of a drop or stay behind the mineral line here and make sure a new hatchery is never established. Oh, is a new hatchery coming in? Yes, it is. Happy does spot this, and Happy could quickly come in and try to focus down this one hatchery here. The hatchery down to 30, 12. Yes, it is canceled just in time, but a fungal growth does end the life of that medevac, as Happy once again unable to stop the new hatchery from Bly. Now, what are these players going to be doing? We are at the 16-minute mark in this game. 3-2 upgrades now being researched. We are going into Greater Spire Tech. And I would normally say that Terran has the advantage on this map since this 3rd is so exposed. But it really feels like Bly doing a good job defending it. Greater Spire will be completed in just a second. Already have 8 Corruptors on the field. And that initial round of Broodlords could catch Happy just by surprise. There you go. There is that 8 Corruptors in 8 Corruptors morphing into Broodlords. Infestors now backing away. Infested Terrans getting in some damage here, and the Marines looking to just take this down. Fungal growth galore. Zergling's not going to try to do us around. There's a basic flash if I ever saw one, or I ever heard one, as we now see more and more damage being dealt. Broodlings are coming in, and now Happy, with his very aggressive siege tanks, needs to back away as the Broodlings and the Infestors are trying to do a bit of a chase. Is it going to be enough damage? We could see some fungal growth. No more. Oh, I thought I saw fungal growth. I guess we did not, as there is still 1 siege tank up on the high ground. Fungal growth hitting off all of those medevacs. Broodlords now getting focused on by Marines, but not enough. And Bly with a beautiful counterattack, as he already has this hatchery here. Happy being forced to retreat. We are going into double Viking production. Currently still sitting on about 7 Broodlords, only 1 lost in that engagement, and this could be bad news. Only 2 Vikings here. Is it going to be enough? Where are all of the units going to go? The Broodlords need to engage, but they know that Vikings are being added. 9 Corruptors being added. Those 9 Corruptors should be enough to protect all of those Broodlords, and some Queens with transfuses, as we've already seen Bly execute beautiful transfuses early in this game. Could be a follow-up, as we now have a 13 supply differential between these 2 armies. Zerglings 2-2, Broodlords 0-0, soon to be 1-0. How much damage could be dealt? Oh, activating the Zelnaga Tower. Saw there's a problem, and now are we going to get some fungal growth? Oh, beautiful fungal growth, as the Vikings now making their way in. The Broodlords are going to get taken down here. Could we get some fungal growth? Siege tanks on the low ground, now finally getting up with scanner sheep on the high ground, as the Corruptors want to finish off all of those Vikings there. And now with the Broodlords on the high ground with no real answer to them, all of these units are going to be retreating, as Bly once again comes out ahead. Nice pickup by Happy, knowing that the Broodlords can't attack ground, and it looks like it's going to be coming in for a flank attack as opposed to a tactical retreat. Alright, those Broodlords, oh, need to be very careful. The Vikings are in reach, are in pursuit. Infestors are now coming in. You can see that there is one Hellion off over here. Where is that one? Yes, Siege Tank, or sorry, Marauders and Marines coming in to drop off. Oh, that was not a smart move by Happy. Happy has to be very careful as the Corruptors are now making their way over. The Marauder one does fall inside the medevac as we now see even more Broodlords coming back and trying to reinforce unit production. 5 Broodlords, 2 Ultralisks, and for a tier 3 army, I gotta say that Bly's army is not scary. Happy, on the other hand, let's see what his composition is. 12 Vikings, 3 Thors, and a whole bunch of Marines with some medevac support. That is much more dangerous at this point, as the Marines will soon be 3-3. And we already see Thors to counteract the Ultralisks, and we already see Vikings to counteract the Broodlords. There's not much that Bly can really do in terms of a tier 3 army, as this hatchery will be falling. Queen quickly falls here. The Vikings are now still chasing, and it looks like this base could be falling in just a second. Vikings going Overlord hunting. All of those Overlords could get taken down. The Marines could engage. Where are the rest of the units? As the Vikings now regrouping, making sure that there are going to be absolutely no Broodlord flanks at all. Bly now down to 198, adding in more Ultralisks, but the Thors are upgraded 2-0. 2-0 Thors really take down an Ultralisk rather quickly, almost as quickly as 3-0 Thors, but 3-0 Thors are obviously just a bit better. New hatchery being placed down. Where are those hatcheries being placed down? One off over here. We see an engagement here. All of those Zergins and Banelings getting splashed around. A new hatchery being placed down here as well. Bly really needs to get those bases up and running. And oh, you can see that the Broodlord Vikings now engaging. Oh, a beautiful fungal growth. Is it going to be enough? Yes, the Corruptors do have 1-0 upgrades over 0-0. And Bly perhaps going to be able to take down all of the Vikings. There are hardly any left here. No, well, hardly any high hit point left. There you go. Finally, a lot gets destroyed. And now only a 2-1 Viking left to finish off the last of the Broodlords as the Ultralisks chomp their way through the Thors. A beautiful pickup as the Thor ship now trying to retreat. New hatchery being placed down. Bly needs to get these bases up and running in order to stay ahead. You can see mules are being utilized to mine as well. 3 base Terran, not trying to take up a 4th anytime soon. The main base pretty much mined out, only 2 mineral patches left. 50 minerals on each, about 100 minerals left in the main base before that is mined out. And we see 62 drones. So it is going to be oversaturation pretty much, as the units are still in retreat and in that regrouping method. So far, alright, Infestors now making their way in. Banelings taking a bit of splash damage here. Zergins are in retreat. Army compositions, let's take a look at the army. 4,300 versus 3,975. Bly does have the stronger gas army, and for some reason opted to leave this one set of destructible rocks at 32 hit points, not taking them down. Alright, here we go. Cleanup of all of these creep tumors. 1 Raven would have just been worth it already at this point for the number of scanner sweeps I believe Happy has used. A point defense drone shutting down, well, if that shut down Broodlord, that would actually be interesting, but doesn't really shut down much of anything that Bly currently has. So I guess the Raven wouldn't be altogether that useful unless you've got a beautiful Seeker missile on some retreating Infestors. Marines and Vikings still on the move. 3-3 upgrades against soon-to-be 3-3 upgrades coming in from the melee. The Ultralisks going to just try and give hugs to those Marines. Siege tanks are in position. Oh, there are some siege tanks, and here we go. Here's the battle. Siege tanks are falling very quickly. Fungal growth, massive fungal growth. Bly, is he going to come out ahead in this battle is the key question, as the Marines are trying to dance away, and it looks like, oh, one Infestor still able to survive. There are still a handful of Marines. Are they going to be able to catch up here as one low hit point Infestor down to 11, trying to retreat? 3-0 upgrades coming in as SCVs are making their way over to this now third base. Happy does not have did not build an additional command center, calling in mules, and a whole bunch of SCVs in this giant Congo line. I'm sure all the Zerg players out there would have loved to have seen a fungal growth on that many units. 3-3 upgrades, or 3-3 upgrades nearing completion for Zerg. It will even things out here in just a second. Infestors, Ultralists still wandering around. Zerglings still trying to recapture the center, and this is still anybody's game, folks. All it will take is one bad engagement for either side, as both of these players have been chipping away at each other's armies, but it's been a battle of attrition. So far, the Zerglings, where are they going? Oh, it looked like they were trying to take down some units here. Now up on the high ground, going to lose this Zelnaga tower. 3-3 upgraded Marines, and all this really means is that these 3-3 upgrades against 3-3 upgrades, it just means that they can destroy each other's bases faster without really dealing extra damage to each other faster, since the armor is pretty much neutralized in this majority Zergling and Marine battle. Happy does have an additional orbital command here, unable to land it. Creep spread over 2/3 of the map now. I would say 3/4 of the map, as there's not many bases where you can actually establish anything. And for Happy, only this one base is left, and creep could easily be spread there, forcing a chokage on any more resources. Happy pretty much fighting with creep on his front door. Not a good situation at all. Zergling's now trying to do a bit of a run by. Not going to be successful, as this base is also mined out. Income tab. Happy strip mining this base. You can see how many SCVs are here. Zergling's now making their way in. Siege tanks don't care that there's SCVs there. Decide to blast their way through and take down those Zerglings as well. Infested Terrans. Oh, beautifully done by Happy, unsieging at just the right moment to make sure that there was no siege tank splash damage. 198 versus 170 siege tanks now rolling up onto the high ground. We're going to see an engagement here. Fungal growth, infested Terrans, both sides are fighting, and beautifully done. The siege tanks will fall, but how many Ultralists will fall as well? Ultralists, infested Terrans now doing a beautiful push, and Bly looking absolutely beautiful, and now trying to chase after all of these Marines, and a beautiful counter push here. Happy now down to 135. Bly looking very strong, as Zerglings and some infested Terrans were coming in from the other side. More Marauders and Marines being trained. It looks as though Ultralists trying to just chomp at the bit to take down the siege tank. There it goes. One Ultralist does get taken down. Another Ultralist 1 or 2 shots away from being taken down. There it goes. Zergling's fungal growth. We could have chain fungal growth. Those infestors cannot be lost without dealing a lot of damage, and it is dealing a lot of damage. But this war of attrition, Bly should be able to replenish his army. He still has a bit of a bank, but why isn't he doing it? 63 drones versus 49, but army size Happy is still ahead in terms of both minerals and gas. 125 versus 117. Alright, this is looking really bad. You take a look at the map, how much control Bly currently has on the map here. There are 4 Vikings in the air, unable to really land anywhere. Perhaps can land up over here, and if it does land, can take down a lot of, or some of those drones as they're trying to mine. There you go, some drones getting destroyed here. The one drone only taken down. The Zerglings not trying to make their way over. Are they going to be able to jump up into the air? That is not a good trade. Happy losing 4 Vikings pretty needlessly without dealing any serious damage. Alright, both of these sides. Let's take a look at the income now. Bly still slightly behind. How many mules are being mined here? 5 mules, or is that 5? Yeah, 5 mules currently being used to strip mine this location. And wow, that is the only base up for Happy. Happy needs to win the fight, this next engagement, or he will lose, as simply, Happy needs to win this next fight or he will lose, as Bly simply has much more of an economy going for him. He is mining off of more bases, and all Happy can do is hope that his strip mining does make him come out ahead. Already mined out one of the mineral patches here, and you can see 300, 300, 260. Things are looking very, very bad. Orbital Command trying to find a place to land. It looks like it did find a place to land over here in the top left. Ultralisk Infestors could easily take this down. Baneling's going to make their way over and take down all of these Marines. Splash, there it goes. And now perhaps trying to land underneath. Siege tanks are making a move out across the center, getting off a couple quick, easy shots. And now, what is going to be happening? We may see a force of an engagement, and if Happy is able to force an engagement here where Bly doesn't have proper positioning, this could be bad news. You can see this one hatchery will fall. This base is pretty much already mined out, even in terms of gas. So all of the bases are pretty much mined out. Oh, there's still gas here, and why isn't he trying to mine it is the key question. And still gas here. Oh, nope, no orbital command there. That's the reason. Harvester count. 22 versus 43. 760 versus 860. Happy now currently behind by about 30 supply as Bly has the strong economic advantage and also retransition into Broodlords. Unit tabs. Only 4 or only 1 Viking currently operational against these 5 Broodlords. Oh, this could be bad news once more. Bly has the upper hand. Bly has the stronger bank. And this is just still going back and forth. Oh, Happy not having a good day at all. Hatchery now being reestablished here. We'll see that there is a hatchery now being established down over here. Happy has no way to really engage against both of these locations. He's going to be trying to do a drop here, but there's not that many drones and a whole bunch of Zerglings. The Zerglings should be able to finish off the drop. Is Happy going to be able to engage with this large group of Marines, Marauders, Siege Tanks, and Medevacs? Is the key question, especially against a slow-moving Broodlord camp. 5 Broodlords now making their way in. Zerglings trying to make their way in as well. Ultralisk deciding to back away, don't want to engage Siege Tanks. Here, as we now see, once again, a scanner sweep up on the high ground. The Broodlords moving very slowly. Vikings may be able to give chase here in just a moment, and if he's able to take down these Vikings, that would be huge. SCVs, Siege Tanks, here we go. This could be for everything. Vikings are going to engage the Ultralisk Corruptors, now battling out Infestors. Fungal growth coming in, so much fungal growth, and I believe Bly will take this victory very easily. Bly taking game 2 in this series, I think, at 125 versus 28. Ultralisk chomping down, and there is the GG once more. Happy now down 2-0 in this series as we go into game 3. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys stay tuned for game 3 in this series between Bly and Happy.